Bill Holland, your moderator, and I'm here with Whoopi Goldberg and Star Jones. How you doing, Star?
Dude, that stomach staple totally set me right.
It's painful, man, though. How was that? How's it treating you?
Now I look like a skinny person hiding in a fat person's body where it just sags a little bit.
All right. Well, before I ask you what kind of tree you are, let's move on to what we were talking about, amp modeling. So I have a guitar. I don't have an amp, but I got this kind of not quite craptacular plug-in that emulates amps. We're not going to name any names.
Amplitude.
But anyway, we're going to take that, and we want to make that sound halfway decent so it doesn't completely sound like I'm like hitting a badger over the head with a raccoon.
There are things you can do. First step is listen. Listen to the signal. Listen to what it sounds like, what it needs, stuff like that. Second advice I can give is don't use presets. Start from scratch. You know what I mean? If you're using like Guitar Rig or something, you have the options of just building the sound. So if you start with a preset, it's already got everything on there already. You know, it's already got your speaker emulators, your microphone emulators, and all that crap. Placement, all that stuff, which is cool. But you want to just start with scratch because you don't want to overdo it with any of that type of software. That's the biggest problem I hear is people are overdoing it. Too many effects.
And
too
you
much.
get that like.
Well, you sounded like Space Drone on Reactor.
All right, for people who don't already know how a sound is supposed to operate or how it's supposed to sound like, what you do is the simplest thing
Like
that you can do.
laptop producers?
Like, I mean, anybody.
No, just kidding.
I mean, like, but like you don't like jump to like just going like, hey man, I gotta do it like this. It's like you take a simple like A/B sort of situation. You put on the record that you want this guitar to sound like. Because I know for a fact that every one of you stupid children want it to sound like some record. All right,
Wham, make it big.
Wham, do all right.
That's what all the kids are into right now.
Wham, make it big.
Actually, I think they're more into like
New Young Pony Club.
No, like Salt and Peppa. They're getting all that stuff. They're bringing back like the late '80s New Jack Swing and stuff. You know?
Yeah, no, but like for guitar sounds, let's say like these kids really into Van Halen, so you put on Panama. And you're like, man, I really want it to sound like Panama. So you A/B, literally take the track, listen to it, loop it, and just go like, and then just tweak the knobs until it sounds as close to that as you can get it. Because like that's the only way you're going to get a decent sound. It may not sound exactly like it, but you're going to get a good approximation. Therefore, you can pull out, instead of trying to overdrive your gain for like 30 stages, you're like, dude, why doesn't it sound good? Why doesn't it sound like Panama? And you're like, well, all right, like A/B it. Make sure that you just remember that after you're done with the modeling, you're going to have to put it into a room. And in this situation, since it's all digital, you're going to have to put reverb, and you're going to have to do some sort of reverb modeling.
Give it a place.
Give it a place.
Well, and realize too, I mean, there are certain things like when you're working with limited equipment, there's the aesthetic of your sound too. I mean, I have a friend who got to a point at one point where he said, well, I have crappy equipment, not a lot to work with, so I'm going to go with something that sounds very DIY aesthetically. I'm not going to try to be like, crazy, like, David Sylvian, like ambient guitar stuff or something.
I'm actually not even talking about like on an aesthetic level. Just take away any aesthetics for a second and just think from a very, very like point place. Like I got crappy equipment. Well, this is what I can do with crappy equipment. Right. There's certain things that you're going to have to do to get a desired trait out of something. Exactly. You know what I mean?